Was an excellent day for an exorcism.
Welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast.
I'm Ben, calling every Russian epic coming.
I'm John. I worked at Burger King and I got some problems with his bullshit.
I'm Cobra. It's funny that you both like really shitty movies.
The game we're gonna play when we do play it is we have an either or, a bunch of either or scenarios in this hat.
See, that no doesn't even make sense to me. Coca-Cola fuck.
What?
This is one, it just says Coca-Cola fuck. What does that
Let me
even
see.
mean?
Phone rings, yells. Clearly, it's not Freddy. Coca-Cola fuck. Dylan Bug Arnold. What's Coca-Cola fuck? Is there Coca-Cola in it?
There must be a Coca-Cola in the scene, but I don't know why fuck is there.
I don't know what to say about that.
I don't either.
Hello, welcome to Just Another Horror Podcast. I'm John.
Cobra. And I'm Ben!
I'm sorry, I gotta go suck some more dicks. I don't even know what to say. I'm so mad at him.
What an asshole.
Yeah. You are. You're an asshole, Ben. I am an asshole.
Did you know there were churches in the 1500s?
Let me tell you some other historical facts. Columbus really did discover India. They really were Indians. And also, I love slavery. Wow, Ben, that's really mean.
So racist. I'm sorry.
You're not sorry. No, I'm not. I wish I owned some slaves. And you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble, you know that? I didn't say they had to be black, but I don't care. Either or, I don't care. You're a real dick.
Oh, what a...
Why don't you just leave right now? Alright, there he goes.
Should we try to find us a replacement?
We might, yeah, you know
We
what?
might have to.
Start looking for a replacement here.
Wes is the new Ben, and we just
Wes was the new Ben, and then the new Ben was the new Wes. And now we're going to find a new Ben.
And now Ben
again.
is the old Wes.
Hey, anybody out there want to do a podcast?
You have to change the title. We're 2.5 Men.
Yeah, we'll just use the soundtrack from 2.5 Men. We talk about horror movies. Alright, today we're reviewing Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Continuing on with this Nightmare.
And we're finally gonna end the series.
Yeah, next week, but today.
Next week with a burnt turtle.
What the hell's a burnt turtle?
That's what Freddy looked like to me. A burnt turtle.
In this one?
No, in the new one.
No, the next, yeah.
His face, I don't know. I'll wait till we get to that one.
I don't know what the hell that was.
It looked like a burnt turtle, though.
Do you like the intro to this movie? Do you like the opening scene? Or did it make you upset because you didn't know why?
It made me upset because I didn't know why. Wait, was that the correct answer you're looking for?
Yeah, sure. I like the opening scene. I think it's pretty good. It's like, they look like they're about to film a movie. And Freddy's got this weird claw thing, and the guy cuts his hand off, and it's part of a movie that they're filming.
It's all a dream in Nancy's head.
It is. But whatever she dreams is apparently happening, much like part 4, 5? Which one?
Pick one. It doesn't matter.
No.
But this claw has 5. The thumb actually has. And I thought that's what Freddy's been missing all these years. That extra thumb claw. 4 is good, but 5 is better.
Well, this is cool too because it's like robotic and has a mind of its own and shit.
Is
like
it
that.
cool?
I liked it. You didn't.
I didn't really care for it.
I liked it. And then it attacks the 2 makeup guys. Kills them. So, what were their names? Chuck? Harry? Is that it?
Chase is
Chase
Nancy's
is
husband.
The husband. Yeah. Oh, well, Nancy is Heather Langenkamp in this movie.
And she's back.
Yeah,
Plug just the 10 of us.
Okay. I gotta find it, but I'll plug it. That's the last time ever in the history of anything that we're gonna plug that.
It may not be, so I wouldn't just say that.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, Heather Langenkamp plays herself. And there's a couple other people that play themselves, but this is where it gets weird because her son Dylan is played by Miko Hughes. So he's not playing himself. They could have just said, like, you're Miko, even though your last name isn't Langenkamp. I don't know.
That wouldn't have made any sense.
It didn't make any sense that they had, like, real people and then real people playing fake people.
Lynn Shay was the worst one, though.
That
Because
was
she
egregious.
was in the first one.
Yeah.
So why couldn't she be part of the cast like the rest of them?
Maybe back then people didn't know who Lynn Shay was. She's pretty popular now.
Yeah, what put her on the map? That there's
Insidious?
something about Mary.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Wasn't she in that?
Yeah, she's in that. Yeah. Right, that was New Line.
Was it?
I think so.
Probably.
I think it was after this movie, Robert Shay started getting away from New Line.
Whoa.
What?
Bob Shay.
Bob? Is his name Bob now?
That's what they call him in this movie. That's what I have. Is he Robert or is he Bob? He goes by Bob. What about Bob?
That's
a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
Minus Richard Dreyfuss.
I thought Richard Dreyfuss is pretty good.
That's why I don't like him though, because that movie and Mr. Holland's Opus.
Well, that movie's just awful.
Yuck.
Anyway.
Oh, speaking of that,
Hmm.
let me tell you what movie was on this weekend.
What's that?
Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2.
There's a second?
How does that movie get a sequel?
I don't-
Who's watching that?
I don't know.
What is it? Literally, dogs go around talking and shopping. I
Is
don't
that
know.
what happens?
It's called Beverly Hills
I
Chihuahua.
remember seeing the poster, and it was just a dog in a handbag.
Is it Paris Hilton's though?
I don't know. That's what I think so. Wasn't it?
Maybe Paris Hilton gets naked in them, and that's why there's a second one.
So is it like a porno with dogs?
Ew.
That's disgusting.
That's not good.
I don't want to see that.
I like that kind of stuff.
Of course
This is
you do.
bad.
I told you to leave. I don't want to know about slavery and dog porn. I know you love it, but I don't want to talk about it. Not in my interests. Anyway, now that we got the pervert out of here again, he just hangs out at my house too. I tell him to leave, he just goes upstairs and walks around my living room. What an ass.
Oh, that's weird. You said he goes upstairs and walks around your living room. They probably don't know that we're
We're in
down
a basement.
We're down another level because it sounds like your living room's upstairs.
I was thinking.
You're so rich, you have 2 living rooms.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing a new intro where I said where 3 men sit in a dank basement and talk about horror movies. Okay, so this claw attacks Terry and Craig or Adam or
The two-
Schefter.
I get their names later, probably, when they actually get killed, but you
Yeah.
don't see it.
Well, I noticed this the other day. Dylan gets up on the bed. It's his bed from his room. And the dinosaur's on the end of the bed, and he gets behind it and disappears, meaning that he went back into the real world. That's neat. You're not impressed.
I'm not impressed.
Yeah. I guess that they're all dreaming the same dream together somehow.
Who?
Heather and Chase and Dylan are all dreaming the same dream. Heather wakes up and there's an earthquake. And I guess this is supposed to symbolize Freddy coming into the real world.
Okay, things about earthquakes that I do know.
Mm-hmm.
This was a 5.3. They said that last week they had a massive 6.8. The largest magnitude earthquake ever was a 9.5 in Valdivia, Chile. It happened on May 22nd, 1960. It caused a tsunami so big that the wave killed 61 people in Hawaii, 138 people in Japan, and 32 people in the Philippines.
That's a fucking huge wave.
That is the biggest wave ever. It has to
God.
be. How long do you think it took to get from Chile out to Hawaii? I mean, that's traveling of shit. I think it said it was traveling at like 200 miles an hour, but still.
200. Oh my God.
And how big could that? I mean, if the wave killed that many people, Japan is so far away from South America.
Yeah. That's a holy shit. You don't want to be on the ocean that day.
No.
Fuck.
Death.
Oh, there were earthquakes that happened during the making of this movie, so they got some free footage out of the deal.
The wall also has 4 slit marks in it to symbolize Freddy, but he's got a 5th claw in this one, so
Maybe you just kept it
I'm
out
gonna
of
dock
it.
a point for that.
You're gonna dock a point for
Yeah,
that.
dock me.
That was good. Yeah, good use of Ron Perlman.
Every use of Ron Perlman's a good use.
Chase is off to work to go do a commercial for, what, laundry detergent, he says?
Is that what he says?
He's lying to her.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he's working on a new claw
Yeah.
for the new Nightmare coming out.
Which makes no sense. Why would they be working on props before they had the movie set up?
Well, I'll
They
tell
don't
you
even
why.
have the actors set up yet.
Because Wes Craven is having these dreams at night, and in the morning he writes them down. So they're just coming to him night by night. So how, I mean, you can't really, the story's not even there yet.
Well, then why is he having him work on a glove?
Because he knows what he wants Freddy to be already, but he doesn't.
Oh, he knows what he wants Freddy to be, but he doesn't know what anybody else is going to be doing.
So let's talk about what Freddy is in this movie.
He's not a child molesting dream monster. He's a demon that's existed forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
And Freddy Trapped on Elm Street has just been like his last.
His latest
place,
adventure.
Yeah.
What Wes is saying is that like when he's not in a story.
What Wes is saying is.
When he's not in a story, he's
I had
free
no
to.
idea what I was doing, so let's just make some
Could be.
bullshit up, and we're gonna throw a bunch of people that were in some of the earlier movies in here. And by the way, Tuesday night
She in it?
in
That's
Raw.
the blonde girl at the
Were
cemetery.
the two that they got. They couldn't get anyone better than those two.
I can't believe they didn't get Johnny Depp.
I
I think
read
he would have been on that.
I read that Wes Craven was afraid to approach him because he became famous after this,
Oh, yeah.
and Johnny Depp was like, "You should have. I would have done it."
Yeah.
But that was one of those IMDb things, so who knows if it's true.
I think I've heard that before. Yeah. Well, what he's saying is that he's trapped. He's free to roam until somebody gets a hold of him and like traps him inside a story. And if he's in the story, then he gets trapped by whatever's killing him. And then once you bring him back, he can be trapped again for a little while. And when they killed Freddy, they took him out of the story basically, which left him free to roam again. It's a dumb idea. But it's not a bad idea for a movie. It's just a stupid idea for a realistic movie.
Visually, the movie looks good.
Of course.
It's Wes Craven.
Yeah. And you got to give a lot of credit to the second unit because they went out and filmed all that earthquake footage. Free earthquake footage. Ooh.
I've seen better earthquake footage from National Geographic's pictures.
Well, they're paid photographers. They're like professional photographers.
Mm.
Okay.
Heather has two big moles on her neck. Plug.
Heather has an interview on a TV show, but first we meet the babysitter Julie, where Julie's the babysitter, and Dylan has a dinosaur named Rex. This is Caillou. Dylan is Caillou.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, I brought this up before, because Caillou's babysitter is Julie, and he has a dinosaur named Rex.
That's real weird.
Same colored hair, they dress the
They
same.
have the same colored hair. False. Oh, you talking about the babysitter? Because I was like, Caillou has alopecia and has no
He
hair.
has no hair, yeah.
It's a little
No, I'm
fucker.
saying that Julie is the same as the other Julie.
Julie the Cat Gaffney from Mighty Ducks 2.
Right.
That's who it is,
not,
right?
Nope.
Were there slap shots in
Nope.
this movie?
And nobody who's listening to this probably has to worry about having to ever watch Caillou, so
That's probably true.
it's good.
Unless you have some kids.
You guys are lucky.
Oh, Cody's got 2 kids. He might know what Caillou is.
Yeah, do you know what Caillou is, Cody? Did I just blow
Write
your
in and
mind?
tell us how bad you hate Caillou.
So Julie shows
Do we have
up.
any emails?
We have one, but
We'll get to that
we'll
later.
get to it at the end. Julie originally was supposed to be the cause of all this, but Wes wasn't going to tell even the actress until it was all over, but then decided against it. So she's kind of a useless character.
At this point, yeah.
She just comes over to watch him, and
She punches a few nurses, and
that part I like.
it's funny.
When she lays out a nurse.
So Heather Langenkamp keeps getting these phone calls.
Right.
It's like,
And also letters, but that's later.
yeah, they're like burnt into them, and they're clearly gonna spell out something.
All the phone calls are
R.
R.
Arrgh.
Pirate talk. They're just Freddy going 1, 2.
You wearing a pirate shirt and hat?
I am. Go Bucks. Anyway, they're just somebody saying 1, 2. Freddy's coming for you. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Also, though, I heard, this is another IMDb thing, that Heather Langenkamp actually did have a stalker like this, and Wes asked her if he could entwine it in with the story, and she was okay with it.
Well, that's good.
So, real life situations brought to life. Now, what is this movie trying to be? Super meta ahead of its time.
Yes, it is.
Ugh.
And I think Wes Craven must have got really stuck on this because right after this he went and did Scream.
Yeah, which is
almost the same idea. Very meta.
I don't know which I like more. I mean,
Because
which
you
I
don't
like.
like either one.
Let me reiterate that. I don't know which one I like less. They're both overhyped, I feel. That's the best word to describe both of them. They're good.
A lot of people forget about
and people
this
love
one,
them,
though.
but they're overhyped.
I like this one a lot.
I'm sure you do.
And I like the
How many
beginning of
people
Scream.
get slashed in this?
4.
2 we see at the beginning that really aren't dead yet, but then die and we get to see it on the news.
I think they are dead and they just end up in a
They
field.
haven't found them yet?
Yeah, they haven't found them yet. What?
That claw
Because
didn't kill them because they didn't make the
There's some
set
dialogue.
that day.
Yeah, okay, you got it.
But that claw didn't fucking kill them because that claw was on set. So Nancy's dream is not what happened.
Well, where'd the glove go?
The dude was working on it, and then they called. And
Can
he
it just
called,
go wherever it wants?
Okay, but listen, he's working on the glove. He calls Nancy. These 2 prop guys haven't made it. I'm probably going to be a little bit of time. And she's like, Dylan has gone catatonic. Or what was he doing?
He had an episode.
He had an episode. You need to come home.
Mm.
And he's like, all right, I'll be there in 3 hours. But he said the 2 prop guys didn't show up there. But he has the claw there on set.
Did it leave and come back?
Maybe, but why does it take 6 more days for these bodies to be discovered?
I have no idea.
Someone would call immediately
also,
when they didn't show up.
I'm pretty sure that the newscast was fake.
You're pretty sure it was
because
fake?
of the way that the newscaster says Freddy's glove was missing and blah 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 blah. You wouldn't say that on a newscast.
No.
So, okay, we're back to where we are. Heather has to go.
It's hard, isn't
Yeah,
it?
is.
Why are you calling me Nancy, John?
Oh, that's bad.
Why are you calling me John,
Bad
Nancy?
writing. Bad writing. Well, they're at a talk show.
I've never seen a series just devolve into such madness like this one.
Yeah, but I actually think that there's bits and pieces here and there in the series later on and early on that are good, and in the middle it's a mess.
Listen, when you say bits and pieces, though, you're literally talking about 5 to 10 good minutes out of a movie that's not... And again, this movie was almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was. I didn't appreciate
And for
that.
4 people dying and only getting to see like 2 of them die, I need a little more slashing going on.
Or
in
some
that.
good acting, and there wasn't any.
And yeah, Heather is not...
Heather's not a good actress.
No.
3 times she's tried to do this, and 3 times it's been the same. Well, she got slightly better, but it's still not good. You know?
It's not good.
Well, she's on set talking to some talk show host, and Freddy comes out, and everybody in the audience is like Freddy fans.
Crazy.
And he's giving them high fives and chanting and having a good time, and then her and Robert talk to each other after the show, and he wanders off because Robert Englund is in this movie as himself too.
Yeah.
And there are 2 things I heard that this movie was gonna do that it didn't do. That, man, it would have made it so much better. 1, Freddy fights Robert Englund.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Robert Englund should have been the one to take out Freddy at the very end.
Yeah. And 2, these nightmares were going to affect Wes Craven so much that he was going to cut off his own eyelids, and they were going to see him later, and he was trying to prevent himself from sleeping. And instead he put himself in a giant house with a giant pool. So there's some missed opportunities here, I think.
Yeah, I think we might have missed too that Dylan at some point is watching the original Nightmare on Elm Street on the
And
television.
putting Freddy in his oatmeal.
And he makes an oatmeal face with a scary face.
Yeah. So Heather comes home.
And what's the rule? Don't ever put a better movie in a movie.
I think this is better.
This is better than the first Nightmare on Elm
Yep.
Street.
Yep. I like it more.
I have to disagree.
That's fine. We can disagree. It might be on par with 3, but it's not. It's better than 1. I don't like 1. I really don't like 1.
One's not that great, but they did stuff that looked good.
How many kills did they have in 1?
Probably 4.
Yeah, same amount. So.
But you want to compare the death scenes? Do you really want to compare the death scenes?
No, because they're pretty much the same, aren't they? Well, no, one of them is.
And 2, there's like a
guy getting hung is kind of boring to me.
Who, Rod?
Mm.
But the effects look good. The sheet.
Yeah, this movie suffers from early 90s CGI at some points.
It's near
Especially
the very
the end.
end, yeah. I just don't, like, CGI almost all the time looks fake. It looks terrible.
It's never looked good except for 2 or 3 instances.
Yeah. Stop using it if you can't get it right. Because it just makes your movie look shitty.
So she comes home and Dylan's freaking out again, and
Is this when she calls her husband?
Maybe? Because Julie's there still, and Rex has some claw marks.
Rex has 4 claw marks. Yikes!
Hmm?
There's a Semper Fi poster.
Why?
Chase is not a Marine.
No, he's
There's
not.
no way in my... He's a fucking... What is
He also
do?
doesn't look like a makeup artist either. He looks like he would be an actor, which I guess he is, so...
I have that. These dinosaurs are a throwback to Glenn in the original Nightmare. Because he had all those dinosaurs on his wall.
Well, I think, yeah, this is when Heather calls Chase at work. No, because she first goes and talks to Robert Shea. We forgot about that.
Yeah, she does talk to Bob Shea. I have it right here. He says kids love horror movies. Because he's asking Nancy to come back for one, isn't he?
Yeah, and she's like, I have a kid. And he's like, kids love horror movies.
Yeah. And he's like, Wes Craven, he's writing this new script and he wants you to be part of it. And she's like, yeah.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. I got a kid now, family. And I'm making just the 10 of us shows since the last time you talked to me, Bob.
Yeah, and then she asks him if he's having phone calls or nightmares, and he
Yeah,
looks
it's real weird.
he looks legit scared. Like,
Yeah, the phone rings. He's like, aren't you gonna get that, Bob? No, we got people to answer that for us.
answer the damn phone! Because that's Robert Shea for you. He's an asshole.
Bob Shea.
Sorry.
I
Bob
feel like
Shea.
we got to know him enough that we can call him Bob.
I guess so.
We've
He's been
seen
in
his
this
fat
series an awful
head
lot.
so many times in the series.
Well.
Dylan!
Okay, I will.
Plug that
I will.
anywhere.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
I think I read too also that the name Dylan is spoken like 103 times in this movie.
Oh no, I didn't notice. That sucks.
Yeah.
Next
All
time
the
I watch
time.
it, I'm gonna
Dylan,
notice it.
Dylan? Dylan's okay.
I thought he had a good job.
I think the latter half of the movie,
Yes.
because the first movie he's just trying to
catatonic.
be, he's like, and then when he comes out of it, he just looks like a screaming. It didn't look great. He's just like, looking around. I guess I don't know what it would be like to be in that frame of mind as a 5-year-old with this happening to me, but
No, I have no idea.
But his performance as Gage in Pet
that's
Sematary
great.
was real good.
Yeah, and he's in Kindergarten.
Kindergarten Cop. You gonna plug that?
Of course I will.
Which one?
I'll find something.
Anything with penis or vagina, because
Yeah, I
he's the
guess so.
funniest kid in Kindergarten Cop.
Boys have a penis, girls have vagina.
That's when Heather calls Chase and is like, "Are you working on a glove? Are you not telling me what's happening? Where's Chuck and Terry?" And he's like, "Forget about them. I'm not gonna."
They didn't even show up this morning.
Yeah, so they're dead.
We assume.
I guess they're dead. I don't know if they're being raped and tortured in a field somewhere or what.
I hope they are.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's mean for somebody I hardly know at all.
You got to see them in a dream sequence for a minute of the
Well,
movie.
fuck them. So he's
Brady.
on his way home and he says that it'll only take 3 hours.
There's something else that a big part right before this happens.
Okay.
Dylan is reading Hansel and Gretel to his mom, and he wants his mom to read, and there's this whole follow the breadcrumbs scenario that is gonna
And also
be a
how to
big
kill
part
the
of this
witch.
movie. Yeah, how to kill the witch. But I have Hansel, so hot right now. Plug that, Zoolander.
Hansel, so hot right now.
Okay.
That might be the last plug I have.
Wow, we got a long movie to go here.
Nope, I have one more plug. I'll make sure I get at least one more in there.
So after they read that story, Chase is on his way home, and he said it was going to take 3 hours, but it is now pitch black dark.
Pitch black dark, and he's dozing off like he's
been
coming
driving for
back
days,
from
yeah.
24-hour drive.
And he starts singing REM, and Freddy's claw comes out of the seat, impales him.
First of all,
It scratches his balls.
it
which
scratched
is
his
very
balls
strange
first.
and
Jay's like,
unnecessary.
tickle
Yeah.
in his tip to see if
Oh.
he can get a rise out of him.
Jesus Christ.
Is this Jesse as Freddy again?
I guess so.
Oh,
Jesse's back for another round.
he does come out of the closet when?
No, he does.
Is that the end of this one?
You know what? For all the people who make fun of Part 2 for having gay subtext, this movie has a ton of gay subtext.
Freddy scratching wieners coming out of closets.
So the claw attacks Chase, and then it's actually he wakes up and it's not there, and then he crashes into a wall because he's reaching and it's not there.
Yeah, and then
But he
it
still has
comes
those claw marks.
flying through his chest,
Yeah,
and that's weird.
and Nancy dreamt it. Heather dreamt it.
Heather / Nancy.
Yeah, And then the cops come, and we have the push-pull, and you said this is not a good push-pull.
This is not a good push-pull.
What's wrong with it?
It wasn't that good.
I thought it was perfect, because it's a dramatic moment. That's when you're supposed to use the push-pull.
I know, but it just wasn't that.
Not when the kids are left alone at the crazy house, like in part 5 of Friday the 13th. Like, check this out. Push-pull. Wow.
If Chase had Star awake, I feel like he might have been able to survive
You need
this.
some Star awake.
That's what this movie was missing. Star awake. Or Hypnosil. Neither of them got mentioned.
Yeah.
Although, what's that pill Dylan's taking that Nancy, like, munches on later?
Those are
I called her
sleeping pills,
Nancy.
I think. Well, she's
Heather.
Nancy at that point.
Is she?
Yeah, she goes back to being Nancy, because her and John are like,
You're not
"Ooh."
John, are you, Nancy? You're not Nancy, are you, Robert? John? What's his name?
Sure.
Greg?
Craig.
Greg? George? What's his name in the first movie?
I don't know. Sheriff Saxon. I don't know.
Sheriff, what's it? Thompson.
Sure.
Nancy Thompson.
Yeah, it's Lieutenant Thompson. That's fine.
George Larry Thompson.
I have no idea.
Doesn't matter.
Mr. Thompson. So the cops come tell Heather that Chase is dead, and the next thing you know, Heather's at the hospital. What the hell? Where's Dylan?
Who's watching him, Jolie?
She's a terrible parent in this movie. Absolutely terrible.
It's not good.
Later on, what she does at the hospital, even worse. But she leaves her kid at home, I guess, maybe with Julie?
We'll just assume
Sure.
she goes to the morgue. She's like, I gotta identify this guy. Let me look at his face. And the guy pulls it down, and she notices that there may be a claw mark running up his chest. So she's like, can I see that one more time?
Yeah.
And he pulls it down. She's like, further.
Mm.
She's like, I need to see his dick one last time.
That's
Oh, no,
not
there's
my
claw
husband's
marks.
Dick? What the hell?
What happened? There's a little, like, scratch mark on the tip from Freddy. But no, he's got giant 4 claw marks, and she's like, and the guy's like, well, it was a bad accident.
Yeah, he said lots of things happen when there's accidents. So you never know.
You never know what might happen. Someone might get 4 slashes right down their chest.
So
Clearly, that's what happened.
she leaves, and now we have a funeral scene, right? Great.
Finally!
I've been waiting.
And we got Tuesday night.
Oh, that's right, and the guy who played Rod.
She was running from a dream. Or from a nightmare.
That song. Holy shit.
That song she sung. Wait, what's the worst song in this series?
Probably Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter.
Bring your daughter to the slaughter.
Any one of those Goo Goo Dolls songs. They were pretty bad.
Or the rap song.
Alright, so there's a funeral scene, and there's an earthquake, so Heather falls and hits her head on the coffin, and then sees Dylan getting pulled into the coffin by Freddy.
Yeah, like he's like getting ripped through the little sheet thing of the coffin, and she goes after him, and Chase's body's just like flailing there, and all of a sudden,
Hey, wakes up. Hey,
Wakes up.
Hey, Heather, hey, what's up?
and it's they're at the funeral again. But she does have that bump on her head. Did she hit her head?
She did. She hit her. There was an earthquake.
There
she
was
hit
an
her head,
earthquake.
and that's why she had a dream.
And I have John Saxon shows up finally, and you need to do a random, just giant cheer because John Saxon is by far the best guy in this movie.
Oh yeah. Robert Englund is there, and he's being nice, but they treat him like shit in this movie. He's like, hey, if you need anything at all,
just call.
In which case, she should have been like, can you paint my garage for me?
Anything, yeah.
You should take people up on that when they
just
ask.
random shit.
Yeah. I need my basement cleaned out.
Can you buff my shoes around? That's not nice, guys. I'm Ben.
That's not nice. What about this slavery talk? You're gonna bash us for not being nice?
Such an asshole.
Insensitive bastard. And why are you still here? They go home and they have like a discussion about God, which comes out of nowhere and is really sad.
There were CGI leaves again too.
Oh, good. Why?
Why did they add those sweeping across the bottom of the screen?
You don't even need them. Nobody's like, oh, I'm so glad those
Oh,
leaves
there's
were
leaves there. Oh, it looks so good. It's the snow globe.
What happens is it goes to like the editor, and when Wes isn't looking, they're like, put these leaves in. So they have a discussion about God, and this is like an unnecessarily deep and sad moment in a movie about Freddy Krueger. And the next day they're at the park, John Saxon and Heather, and meanwhile Dylan is climbing the jungle gym.
This is the weirdest looking play toy I've ever seen.
Why would they do that?
It's like a jungle gym, but then there's like this other part that he climbs up and he's like 30 feet in the air. That's not safe for any kid.
Why would they ever build that?
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
That loses a point right there.
John Saxon's basically like, you're not crazy, no.
Yeah.
No,
You're seeing Freddy in your dreams. You're not crazy.
Nope, I'm just gonna get away from you right now. Oh, your kid's jumping off that thing. He's not crazy either.
Yeah. That's a terrible parent again. Shelley Duvall-esque.
Just let him run through the park. Although this happened a lot in the 90s until the internet came out and said, hey, there's predators out there.
Yeah.
Like, no!
What?
I can't put my kid in my own backyard anymore.
He got to keep that playground, Miko Hughes.
You get to keep the whole thing?
I think, well, I read that he got it because he played in it, and I also read it because his dad bought it after the movie because he wanted it. That little playground set. Yeah, he got to keep that. One way or another, he got it.
Well, you gotta be a kid. I'm sure his parents were dickheads when he was growing up. You're gonna be a movie star!
Yeah. At 3, he was a movie star. Then he fizzled out, but
well,
he was looking for God.
he was trying to reach God, but God's like, get the fuck out of here.
But Nancy, in a very dramatic Baywatch run, runs over and, like, catches him before he hits the ground.
Alright, so God didn't take Dylan. So now they're gonna just go home and pretend none of that happened. And this is where the movie I get lost.
This is where, okay, Heather gets a knock on her doorbell or whatever, and she gets another letter, and she opens it, and it's like a burnt R or something in the letter. So now you know that not only is this guy phone calling her, but he's sending her letters. Who is it? We don't know.
Yeah.
Is it Freddy?
We never do find out.
Is Freddy sending the letters? Or is it Robert Englund just fucking with her?
Wouldn't that be great?
If the whole thing was like Robert Englund, he like just dressed up as Freddy and came and killed people, and then the whole time it was him. Robert Englund dressed up as Freddy.
Too far, Robert.
That's right. He's like, I take my role so serious.
Okay. So, she puts that in the drawer, and then what happens?
She calls Robert Englund, and he's painting.
Right.
And he's like, Wes told me a little bit about this. Freddy's more darker and terrifying than ever in this new one. And she's the whole time, and she's like, I'm pretty sure it's all happening. It's coming back again. And everyone's just kind of pushing it aside, like, no. But
he says that she can come visit him in the morning, but he's not going to be there. He's busy right now. Painting a giant
Happy
picture
trees.
of Freddy. Yeah.
Bob Ross.
And does she have a nightmare about Dylan having claws?
Dylan has knives. Is
Yeah.
this another dream?
Yes. And then she wakes up and he's watching Nightmare on Elm Street. And the TV is
It's
unplugged!
Is that an homage to the toaster being unplugged in part 2?
Wouldn't that be hilarious? Really, I didn't like the whole series, but that part where the toaster caught on fire,
man.
oh, we gotta do that again.
Answer the phone. There's the tongue.
It says I touched him, and then it licks her. It's weird.
You touched who?
Probably Dylan.
What happened to Jacob?
Who's Jacob?
He's a dream child.
Oh, what did happen to him? Whatever happened to that kid?
I don't know. Ray went on to do Children of the Corn.
I want to know what happened. I'm upset. We just skipped that and went straight to 6.
Nope. Here's where we're in the hospital now, I think.
Hey, did you want to rant at anybody about not showing up?
Maybe Ben.
Not that. I'm talking about the live show. Didn't you say you wanted to rant?
Fuck you people.
That's your rant?
Is that good enough?
It's well prepared. Way to go. Maybe I shouldn't spring it on you.
Did I nail that or what? Springwood, Ohio.
Ooh, wow. This isn't taking place there at all.
No. Where's this taking place? Los Angeles.
Yeah, Los Angeles. So she takes Dylan into the hospital.
Hollywood.
Hollywood Hospital, where Lynn Shay is one of the nurses.
And Wes Craven's daughter, I think, was one of the nurses too.
Probably, yeah. And basically this woman is there telling her that she thinks that watching Nightmare on Elm Street has made this kid nuts.
Yeah.
And she's kind of a dick.
And it's not CCH Pounder.
Nope, it's not. I thought it was. Makes me racist.
It's a bug-eyed black lady, but yeah, I think they're different.
Hey man, I get Colin Farrell and most actors in Hollywood messed up, so don't call me racist. So she gets ready to leave. She's going to leave him there overnight, and this is when I'm like, that's terrible parenting. Because if your kid's having traumatic episodes and has to be in the ICU, where are you going? You have nowhere to go. You have no job.
Nothing.
You aren't doing anything. But she just has to leave, so she calls up Robert Englund, and he's like, I'm going to be gone for quite a few days. So, nope, not coming home. So then she goes and sees Wes Craven, and he's a terrible actor.
He's like, I get a scene at night, I dream it, and then I write it the next morning. And she's like, well, what's going to happen next in your story? I don't know. I just fucking told you, bitch. Get out of here. I'd rub her the right way,
She's like, Wes, did you know? And he goes, it was just a story. I didn't know.
Yeah, I did like, what's his name? Fucking the kid from It.
Yeah.
All grown up with the mole.
Yeah. I can't remember his name.
Richard.
Dean Anderson?
No, that's MacGyver,
I
isn't it?
know. I'm plugging MacGyver.
You should plug MacGyver every week. Now, what is that guy's name? He was on Little House on the the Walton, John Boy Walton.
Yeah.
I don't know his real name.
No, I don't remember.
He isn't even worth talking about.
Well, I'm really surprised Heather's not more upset at Wes because Wes killed her husband.
Yeah, his dreaming, his writing is the cause of Jay's death.
And he wrote her son into the story.
Without even asking her.
Putting him in danger. And she's just like, Wes, what are we going to do about this?
Why don't you, couldn't he at this point write just like...
He can write whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants, a happy thing, and then just end the story, and this could have been all over.
Yeah, like Freddy could come out and be like, oh, sorry, wrong house, and just leave.
Leave.
And that's the end.
Everyone have a good day!
But he thinks that by finishing the story, they can trap him in the story again.
And
that's
finally get rid of him?
Yeah, by blowing him up with explosion. But okay.
Well, isn't he like,
that.
Nancy, you beat him in the first one, and she's like, that was a movie.
And you were in another one and didn't do anything.
It didn't do anything. I'm like, hopefully she takes her 3D glasses with her, because that'll help her somehow.
Yeah, she got Lisa Zane for this movie. She's the one that really killed Freddy with dynamite.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so basically what we find out here is this is a flawed premise. And then Heather goes home. Instead of going back to the ICU, she goes home to go read about child psychology, or just leave child psychology books laying all over the bed.
Yeah. Well, who's the gatekeeper?
I guess her?
Is that what Wes said when he was talking to her?
Yeah, he says that she is the thing that keeps Freddy from getting into the world.
Because she was the star of the first movie?
I guess. That's dumb.
You're the one who likes this movie.
I know, I still like it.
But why?
I don't know, it's a little bit different, but not...
There you go again. Just because something's different doesn't make it good!
You were waiting for me to say that. I was like, I can't say it was different, and I'm like, I have to. I don't know, it's not...
Besides being shot well, you said the acting's not good. There's so many, like, loose ends in the story and things that happen.
But there's loose ends in the story, but I still like the story.
The effects,
I like the kills at the beginning. I know you say they don't matter, but I still like them, and I like Julie's death too, which is coming up. And there's some acting in it that I like, not all of it, but John Saxon's a good actor.
The freeway scene is just...
I liked that.
It's unbelievably bad looking, though, on the screen.
I thought it was, like, suspenseful as hell. I remember being in the trailer and me being like, what the hell is this movie?
It's fine, but it just doesn't... It visually looks CGI and terrible.
Yeah. I mean, he looks like he's floating over a green screen.
He is floating over a green.
Yeah.
It doesn't just look like that. I'm pretty sure he is.
I mean, it shouldn't look like that even if he is doing it, but it does.
It should look a little bit different.
Yeah.
We're not even there yet, are we?
No. Heather, there's another earthquake. The TV comes on and talks about the two dead makeup artists in a field somewhere. And like I said, the anchor goes, Freddy's glove was missing. What? And so the TV then turns off, and she gets shaken out of bed and goes over to the closet, and Freddy's in there and, like, comes out. And I like that jump scare a lot.
She's, like, peering out.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but we haven't talked about Freddy a whole lot in this movie because he hasn't been there, you know? We're probably like an hour and 10 minutes into this, and we haven't seen Freddy at all. And all of a sudden, boom, just out of nowhere, he shows up. And so he starts attacking Heather and calls her Nancy, and then falls off the bed and
Wait, did we skip
disappears.
all this stuff?
what is it?
Did we skip the whole hospital scene and freeway scene?
No, she goes back.
Does that
to the
come
hospital.
after that?
Yeah. After she gets scratched by Freddy in her bedroom, she knows Freddy's real, so she goes to the hospital to stop him from getting to Dylan. So she gets to the hospital and Julie's there. And they go and Dylan's there and she forgot to bring Rex. And then she falls asleep in the ICU and has a dream where the nurse turns into Freddy and tries to kill Dylan. And
Doesn't
also
Dylan
he
puke on
throws
her?
up on her.
And she wakes up with a white streak in her hair.
Yep. She now has gray in her hair, and he's been moved to another room down the hall with Julie.
Yep.
Meanwhile, this nurse is like really insistent that Heather's showing Dylan a bunch of Freddy movies, and that's why she's going crazy. Plus, she cut her hand, and she says, "Freddy cut my hand," and
these people don't know who Freddy is, right?
some of them don't.
Some of them don't, but some of them do. He's a movie guy.
Okay, so Julie's alone with Dylan, and Heather says, "Don't let him fall asleep. I gotta go get Rex." And then when she walks into the hall, some cops grab her. And so Julie and Dylan are sitting in the room.
Screw your past. When's that?
Oh, yeah. That's,
Is that right in this? I think it's the first time
when
she
she's
goes
going back to
see
see
Dylan. Yeah.
Yeah. She goes back there, and then she's going to get Rex. The cops pull her aside, so now Julie is trying to keep Dylan awake, and these two nurses come in and act like assholes.
Yeah, they're going to
Fucking
inject this kid
dickheads.
with some sleeping stuff, and Julie's like,
They pull the old,
"No, you're
they
not."
pull the old switcheroo. The one nurse has the sleeping shit in a needle and is standing beside Dylan, and the other one's just putting fake shit into a needle. And so the other one, when Julie goes over to stop her, the other one pulls a needle out and jabs Dylan without even saying anything, like a dickhead.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No.
You'd have so many lawsuits against you.
You better hit the right spot, too. But she's like, "There you go," and gives like a bitch smile. So Julie knocks her out. And then picks up a needle and like chases the other nurse out of the room. But now that Dylan's fallen asleep, I guess Freddy can come in the real world.
I get. And what I'm confused about here is that she is awake,
Mm-hmm.
Julie. She looks back behind her, doesn't see Freddy, but then starts getting terrorized. But then she's like, almost like she can see him later on in the shot, because
I
how
think she's
she's
just
defending
scared.
herself. But she doesn't know where he is.
She knows something's back there. Something's
What is it?
stabbing her. I don't know.
It's not Jesse, we know that.
No, it's not. Freddy comes behind Julie and drags her around and plays a game he likes to call Skin the Cat. Drags her all over the wall and twists her neck, snaps her neck, and drops her.
Skin the cat.
Nope.
He didn't skin anybody there. Nor does he skin anybody in the series.
No, and I'm actually not sure what's going on to Julie in that scene. She's just bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, is he stabbing her?
I guess, or dragging her around or something, but she's dead, and now Dylan, because his idiot mom told
Said,
him...
"Hey, we're right across the freeway.
Yeah.
You need to get home."
Yeah, tell a 5-year-old that, who's terrified. So Dylan runs off to go home across the freeway, and Heather is going to get him, and this is when we have the freeway scene where it looks like Dylan's being hung over a green screen.
Yeah, Freddy's like got his claw, and he picks Dylan up by the suspenders,
Yeah.
and he's holding him over
Although,
this green screen. A car's coming.
I thought it was cool when there was like 50 Freddys on the other side of the embankment. That was pretty cool.
I thought it was terrible.
You didn't like anything about this movie, did you?
Not a lot. Besides, it was shot nice.
So, on the way to pick up Dylan, Heather calls John Saxon, tells him to come help because Freddy's coming or something, and he's like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah, he's like,
Christ."
"You are a lunatic, lady."
But he's nice enough to show up anyway, because I guess they must live near each other. And he shows up, and all of a sudden, he's now Lieutenant Thompson.
Yeah, Nancy looks down. He's got a badge on or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, Nancy."
Keeps calling her Nancy.
And she's like, "Why are you calling me Nancy, John?" He's like, "Why are you calling me John, Nancy?" Why, John Saxon? Why?
So basically, John Saxon's Lieutenant Thompson shows up just to leave.
He gets in
Just
his
to
car.
say, "I don't
and
believe
he's like,
Freddy's real, he's dead."
Come
Final
give me,
nightmare.
come give me a kiss.
Yeah, no, kiss me, I'm out of here. And he drives away in his cop car, and now Nancy's back in front of 1428 Elm Street. Which, by the way, is fine for this because that's where Nancy lives.
That was Nancy's own house,
Yeah.
not Freddy's.
Not Freddy's house. So she goes inside and there's like a trail of sleeping pills, which are supposed to be like the breadcrumbs.
Yep. She knows that Dylan left these and she's going to find him in the house.
Mm-hmm. So she climbs into the bed, which turns into a 1990s-ish CGI ride into Freddy's hell, I guess.
I guess. Also, Nightmare on Elm Street was playing again on the TV without the cord, and she finally like unplugged it and broke it, I think, before she goes. And
I think Wes thinks that Nightmare on Elm Street is really scary.
I think he thinks it's like the cream of the crop, and
I
he's just
think.
like, hey, do you know I made this movie? You know I'm making this movie, but check this movie out. I made this one too.
I made both of these.
all of these. Everyone else, shit. These two, fantastic.
Well, he says something like that, like, at one point he makes fun of the sequels. Like, he says, like, one line where he's just ripping on all the sequels. Well,
It was probably Comic Book Freddy.
yeah, that would be funny if Nancy got into Dylan's dream and it was Comic Book Freddy.
Oh,
Skateboarding around, chasing Dylan around,
Sharking through sand.
wearing sunglasses. But she jumps into this cave and it's like ancient Rome almost,
Yeah,
or Greece or whatever.
It's not good.
It's weird.
But he has been around since the beginning of time, so who knows?
I guess that's the point. I guess. And then you would think that this new, more terrifying, more evil Freddy would have a much easier time killing these people. But a child and some random woman beats him.
Outsmart him.
Yeah. Like, he punches them a couple times, but, like, basically, what happens is Dylan ends up in the furnace.
Even before that, though, Nancy Heather stabs
with an eel
with
in
a
the
moray
eye.
eel right through his eye. Now,
Yeah.
I know all about fish and eels, and a moray eel cannot penetrate your eye like with Nancy's little...
It's a dream, though. Get away with
Is it a
anything.
dream?
Yeah. Remember that in Nightmare on Elm Street, you can't plug holes in the logic, or put holes in the
I
logic,
can put holes everywhere.
because it's all a dream.
No.
So yeah, they chase each other around, and then Freddy traps Dylan in a furnace.
But it's not a real furnace, because there's room inside of it.
I guess it's where they burn their bodies. I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be, again, Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
They lure, it's like an oven. But Freddy is trying to reach for Dylan, and this retarded long arm. It looks worse than the first when he's got the long arms.
There was a cool thing where he couldn't quite reach him, so he scratched on the side of the thing to scare Dylan more, which I think gave him the ability to do what he wanted. You know, give him his power. I thought that was neat, but it's so subtle, and it's crammed in this movie that's like way too much shit going on.
And this
You
movie's
can't
way
catch
too
stuff
long,
like that.
too.
I've seen this movie like 100 times, and I've never seen that before, and I'm like, what? You know, if you're gonna do that, really hammer it home, you know?
Yeah.
So it was cool, but it was just like, it doesn't belong, you know?
He's screaming, and Nancy comes to, and
Stabs him in the balls.
she runs up these mud
Stairs. Which, why?
Another homage to the first one, I guess.
Yeah. Stabs him in the balls, and then they push him in after he tries to eat Dylan's head with what's basically a plastic head.
It looked bad.
Yeah. And so Freddy's trapped in the furnace, and they crank it up. Oh, they cut his tongue, too, so he looks like a lizard.
Yeah, he tongues.
And I think at the end he's supposed to be like Satan or a demon or something, and his eyes explode, and he looks terrible.
Fred turns into a CGI demon and explodes. Yeah, he grows like horns. It looks awful.
Oh, it looks bad. And then everything explodes because, as you said, Michael Bay wandered on the set, and they're like, well, let's give this guy a try to see what he can do. And he's just like, boom, explosions there, and explosions there.
Oh,
Let's blow up that building.
And next is Platinum Dunes.
Yeah, so then later he got a hold of it and did what he wanted. So Nancy and Dylan roll out of the bed in broad daylight in the middle of the day, and there's smoke coming out of the bed, and then they find a script, and it's Wes. He's like, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're going to be suing you for murdering our family. But instead they just read the script, and yeah.
And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
So if this kid had Rex the whole time, would he have been safe?
I think so. I don't know what Rex is in his dream. I thought that would have been cool if they explored that.
Yeah, like...
I guess he protects
A
Freddy.
Velociraptor comes out, or
Yeah.
a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
But they were like, well, that doesn't look good. It came out at the same time as Jurassic Park, and they're like, look at our effects. There's no way we can
No,
have
we
a
can't
freaking
compete with
Velociraptor
that.
here. All right, what did you give this?
I gave this movie. Uh-oh. I gave this movie a 3.5. It visually looks good, but I don't like the story. It's over 90 minutes, which is a problem. Only 4 people get slashed, and the 2 happen in a dream sequence within 3 minutes in the movie. So then you really get a pace that takes forever to get to Chase's death scene and then Julie's death scene. So that I did not like. All these people that are in it, I don't really care about besides John Saxon. He's really the only one. And for that, it just gets a 3.5. It was definitely better than 5 and 6.
Yeah.
But
And 4.
And 4, but it's still, I just don't think it's as good as 1, 2, or 3. Because Freddy wasn't really, he was just, what was he? A made up thing that's been traveling through time, demon that got stuck in this specific area for the past 30 years, and now he's trying to get released to something else.
I guess so.
Sort of. Yeah, 3.5.
Well, I gave it double that. I gave it a 7, which is it's tied for part 2 and part 3 is the highest score. I can't put it higher. You were right, it was shot well. I like that there was a different take on all of this. It explored new ideas. It didn't do it great. If it would have done it great, this like the one we're going to review next week, had a lot of potential. You could see seeds of potential there, but it just couldn't quite get there. And I thought it did a better job of getting there than next week will. But man, it was so close, but not quite. And then the CGI. I think this movie was a victim of its time as far as that goes. But they didn't need it. They didn't need to use it at all.
No.
There wasn't that many scenes that involved CGI, but they stuck out so bad. Heather Langenkamp is Heather Langenkamp. You're going to get what you get with her. Not much. Robert Englund as himself was, I think, more creepy than Freddy.
Yeah, he's just a weird looking dude.
I liked having John Saxon in it. I thought, like you said, I agree with you that Miko Hughes in the second half of the movie
Was good.
was really good. That's sad when your best actor is 7, but he did a good job. I thought Wes Craven was trying to elevate the material and probably spent a lot of time wrestling over how to do this. And in the end, he had some ideas, and they were okay, but he never quite got there, and it didn't quite elevate like he wanted it to elevate. So because of that, I'm not going to give it anything higher than I gave the best ones in this series. To me, so far, 2 and 3, still the best ones in the series. This is same score, but I feel like it's a different kind of material. So, alright, do you want to read this one email we got from Patrick? You're going to have to tell me what the hell he's talking about here, because I think we might have talked about this once. Okay, from Patrick, he says that, I think that ball crushing of any kind is worse than bamboo shoots under the fingernails. Hell, it's the worst thing since you aren't technically dying.
That was from the Dead Snow debate. Me and Wes brought that up
Okay.
a long time ago.
I don't think that either one it's gonna feel good, and I think you're gonna survive both of them.
You will survive both of them, but what would hurt worse?
Probably ball crushing, because there's a lot more nerves there, I think.
There's too many nerves.
Yeah. P.S. I gave Cobra Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Best parody of noir detective movie I've ever seen. This is that movie with Gunnar Hansen. You're never gonna get around to that?
I will, maybe someday.
Yeah, it's just piling onto a stack of movies that we gotta go through. So, thanks for the email, Patrick. That's it for this week. Facebook.com/horrorcasting, horrorcastings@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @horrorcasting. We're on iTunes. We're on Podbean, and we're on YouTube now.
Thrill me!